So good morning. Thank you for joining the third group. And today is August 24th. So I'm feeling very happy that the group is growing. More people are coming here. And before we begin a practice or a discussion, I'll give a small introduction of what we do here. And then number one thing is there's an aspect called non-duality, which comes, at least for me, comes from Advaita, which is a tradition that I grew up in, or a Hindu, it's part of the Hinduist teaching. And that's something that I want to be clear that that's something that cannot be taught. It's not information that can be given. Just like I can tell you this is red color. I can tell you the information about this bottle. It has a Van Gogh painting on it. I told you, and now you will remember. So there's a content, there's an information. So that non-duality or Advaita or Advait is something that cannot be, it's because the name itself is not two. If I'm a teacher of non-duality, it itself defeats, I'm already establishing an identity that I have this special knowledge or information that I'm going to give to you, the other. So it in itself defeats the meaning of what non-duality is. And the moment I create two out of the one, it is dualistic. So when there's an exchange of information, that is a dualistic process. Non-duality is the underlying essential truth of that exchange. Just like there are, let's say, 5 people on the screen, and we can say there are more than 2 people, more than 2 existence, or more than 2 persons. All are existing essentially on one screen right now. That is just a way of pointing out. So this I'll be doing during this group often, and I'll invite everyone to reflect on their experience as well. But I want to establish that this is, I might be teaching a meditation technique, a dualistic way of processing what you're experiencing, but I cannot, and I think nobody can teach non-duality just because it's not a theory, it's not a concept, it's not a thing. Does that make sense? Okay, let's see some thumbs up. Okay. And then number 2, we will do a practice. Even though it cannot be taught, it is fun to try to explore. My teacher, my Vedanta teacher who lives in Oakland, he reminds us often of this Zen saying that enlightenment is accidental and Zen makes you accident prone. Which has a really interesting meaning. In this, I would say enlightenment, again, something that cannot be really like defined easily, but I'll try my best. And I think in this context, enlightenment is when the separate self, when the separate ego falls off, and there's no separate me or mine, and there's only oneness with everything. There's no other, there's no me or other, there's only one. That falling away of that separate I, separate me, leads to end of suffering because there's nobody who's suffering in that realization. So I can say enlightenment is that realization where the I falls off. And this Zen practices in that, I think what my teacher is trying to say is there are certain activities like meditation and contemplation, which we are doing here. And also, it can be very attention and concentration requiring activities that somehow take our sense of self away. If we are so absorbed in an activity, we get so immersed that we lose a sense of time. We lose the sense of, we forget. We get so immersed and we feel like very much in flow. So that's why engaging in those activities is, let's say, Zen, makes that falling away of the separateness more likely to happen. So yeah, these are few things I wanted to state, and we can go into a contemplation practice unless anyone has any questions or request before we do that. No, thank you. I've seen the chat as well. Oh, yeah, yes, Gloria. Okay, thank you so much. Hi, Gloria. Thank you for joining. We are just about to start a contemplation or meditation practice. So let's begin with getting into a position that's comfortable for you. Make sure your back is straight, your neck is straight. And let's begin with bringing our attention to the process of breathing. Noticing the breath that is already here. And also being open to other experiences such as thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations. Or perception, beliefs, or memories that might be coming up in your experience. We are simply being open to experience. That is arising moment by moment. We are not focusing on one aspect of experience, like the breath. We are simply being open to all that is happening. Being aware of the mind wherever it goes, whether past or future, or whether to this room, this breath, this sound, this voice. Not necessarily directing the mind anywhere, simply allowing it to be open to what is. Now I invite you to notice who is noticing. Look who is looking. Observe the observer. Be aware of the awareness. When we are paying attention to an object like the breath or thoughts or an image or nature, trees, or a lake outside, there is a tension. There is a localization of our awareness onto one object. This open awareness, this open field gets focused onto one object. And this focusing involves sort of tension. And therefore, we call it attention. So, what we are doing now is letting go of attention, letting the attention that was being localized on thinking or feeling or breathing, we are letting that sink in. And going back to that original space of being open, being present, simply existing. No effort is required. If you notice that effort is happening, trying and striving is happening, you remind yourself that there's nothing to gain and nothing can be lost. This open awareness, stillness, presence, spaciousness, pure existence is who you are, anyways. The seeking or efforting only only takes you away, only creates a separate seeker, a separate I. So allowing that seeking to fade away, because what you seek is what you are. This attention can also be understood as a character in a movie. When the open wide screen on which a movie is playing forgets its own nature, gets identified with, gets localized onto one character in that movie. As the character goes for a journey, in time and space, feeling like a person separate from the world, separate from the movie, separate from that screen, getting absorbed in me and mine. Why is this? Why not me? This shouldn't be like that. I shouldn't be like that. When this character gets stuck in this narration of me and mine and they and them, of blaming self or blaming the other, not even for a single second, that screen in the background is lost. Even when the character moves from one place to another, no change, no movement, no space happens to that screen. Even when the character goes from an infant to an older person, no change happens. That screen in the background. So remembering that you are that screen of awareness, out of which the character arises momentarily and into which the character goes back. Character always seeks for happiness and peace. After this or that, I'll be happy. Once I have this, I'll be happy. Notice that moment of a desire getting fulfilled happens on the screen. It arises out of the screen. Somehow, nothing can exist outside of that presence, that awareness, that screen. being here, being present, being aware, noticing how the screen never leaves the character, noticing how everything or thought that happens is happening out of this awareness, which is here. Noticing how you're aware of every thought and feeling and sensation and sound moment by moment. Noticing how the experience, thinking and feeling might change, but this awareness who's noticing all that, out of which experience is arising, is not changing. It's existing as it is, just like that screen in the background. Look at that screen. Attend to that. Be who you are. All directions, all paths lead to you alone. Wherever you go, there you are. No matter how much seeking, running around, wanting or avoiding we get into, we are always one with the screen, with this awareness. There's no right or wrong or good or bad. From the point of that screen, there's only isness, there's only you. Thank you so much for engaging in this contemplation. Whenever you are ready, you can come back to this space. Okay. I'm curious if there are any questions or reflections. And I know a couple of people messaged me that they had to leave, so I know a couple of people are gone. But for those who are here, how was your experience? What came up for you? Any insights, reflections, or questions? Or confusion?
It was very difficult for me this morning.
Mm.
My mind was so busy. I couldn't even try to concentrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just difficult, very difficult. Today
Hmm.
was the most difficult day. I don't know why.
Hmm. Thank you so much for letting me know. Can I ask you? Hmm. So when you said today it was very difficult for me,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't concentrate.
Mm.
Who is this I? Who is this me?
Um, this me is the character in the screen. I couldn't go like
Hmm.
feeling beyond it. So the thoughts were there. Many different thoughts came, and I would think about that thought.
Hmm.
And at the same time, I'm feeling how my body is feeling.
Hmm.
Um, but
So,
yeah, no peace,
hmm.
peaceful state that I usually, even for a moment, I can kind of feel that, like the nullness, but today was, yeah, I I I couldn't even try to concentrate, but I
Hmm.
was trying to concentrate, and that's the character.
Hmm.
It was like a chaos in my mind.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing. I can I ask a couple of more follow-up questions? So, one thing that I noticed is you saying I am this I is the character, and I couldn't go beyond
Mhm.
this. There was a feeling, or there's a seeking that I want to go beyond
Mm.
and feel. So just noticing that this I character was trying to seek peace, trying to
Mm.
feel peace. Hmm.
Yes, I was.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was doing that.
Hmm. Is that an effort?
Yes, that
Is
that
that
was
a
an effort. And you were saying something about if there's an effort, something, and then I was saying,
yeah?
oh, I'm trying too hard to do it.
Hmm.
Or yeah, okay, this is what Mahit is saying right now.
Hmm.
But I was still
Hmm.
doing it.
Sure. Yes, that happens.
Mm.
Again, to stop putting effort is also an effort. So that's why I don't want to say don't put effort.
Mm.
I'm just noticing that the seeking is happening. The
Mm.
seeking energy was going on.
Mm.
And it's just like how if you put let's say in past, the car, let's say a vehicle called Gloria has pressed the accelerator.
Mhm.
The accelerator in the Gloria car has been pressed towards getting to some goal.
Mm.
And even when you remove the acceleration, you stop accelerating, the car keeps going on.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
still trying to go. It's still going because of so much attention, so much energy was given to that. So it
Mm.
is still going,
Mm.
even
Mm.
when there is a suggestion to
Mhm.
it's we can stop.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. I even started today wrong. Um, I was going to put in the chat that I will be only participating in listening, but I pushed myself to come on board today. So I don't know. There has been like struggle from the morning this morning.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And I understand the struggle happens when there are two desires. When, let's say, there are two eyes, there are two characters there. One wants this, the other one wants that. And yeah, so all we can do here together is identify, oh, there's a desire, there's a seeking, or there's an avoidance. Just like, oh, not wanting is also a desire.
Right.
So when we identify that's happening, we are just being able to watch the movie. Oh, this is happening. The moment we recognize that there's this character wanting this and another character wanting that, and we see both the characters, oh wow, what's happening? There is recognition, and there is peace naturally arises because the one who is watching both the characters is not a character. Sometimes there's a watcher character also can come up who thinks I'm watching.
Yes. That was happening today.
Yes. So it's very tricky. The mind has this ability to take the form of everything that you're seeking, kind of. Like in that Harry Potter movie, if you haven't seen, these kids go to one of the classes, and then there's a Bogart kind of character in the movie, which is like a creature, and it has the ability to take the shape of your worst fear. So when one guy, Ron, he goes, then this, when he opens the box, comes out a huge spider. And when somebody else goes, comes out a really grumpy grandmom. Somebody else goes, what comes out is, let's say, I don't know, like a werewolf or like. So this Bogart character has no form, or it has no fixed shape or form. It only takes form of whatever these kids were afraid of. And everyone had a different fear. So it was taking the shape of their worst nightmares, where their worst fears. So the mind has this, or this ego, let's say, has this ability to take the shape or to take the form of the belief that will suck attention, that will suck your energy, that will keep that seeking going on. So it's a trickster. It tricks us to believe that, oh, see, you did this, now if you do that, you're gonna find that, whatever that is. Like in this context, we start seeking the peace, forgetting we are peace itself. Peace is never actually gone or lost. It is here always. But this ego character comes in and it creates a feeling of lack, feeling that I'm lacking something.
Yes. Although right now I don't know what I'm lacking, so I'm just kind of groping within myself, I guess. I have to calm myself down. Oh,
Who is this I? Who's this
that's
I?
trying to.
Who is this I who
Yes,
wants to
yes.
come?
Uh-huh. Hmm. Thank you. Something to think about, but thinking is again. So we'll see what happens today.
Nothing will happen.
Okay,
Nothing,
okay.
nothing is happening right now. There's
Okay.
no thing.
Mm. I just have goosebumps all over my arm and my face. Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting
Mm.
and not interesting at the same time.
Okay.
Hmm.
Mm. But
Mhm.
I'm smiling. The emotion is very different. I feel relaxed. I feel more lighter and open.
Hmm.
So I'm not tensed like I was
Yes.
before, moments before.
Yes.
Mm.
How come?
I don't know. It just happened.
Hmm. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So I want to connect this, what you're sharing. Thank you so much, Gloria. This is so
Mm.
helpful that you're open to sharing here. I see other people, I see their faces. So it makes sense to everyone. Why? Because when there's seeking, when there's wanting or avoiding, there's always a tension.
Mm. Mm.
Like I said, because the awareness was so wide, becomes so small and
Mm.
becomes attention, small area of paying attention. It becomes so focused onto one body part, let's say. Then we
Mm.
feel tension in a shoulder or a chest area. That is stress and tension because there's something happening. We feel lack, scarcity, and we are seeking, we want happiness or peace or joy, or we want to feel relaxed. So we keep wanting, 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 and which maintains the tension. And when this inner interaction, what happened was, I said, there's nothing there, nothing to gain. You can't, what this tension is about is to wanting something. That thing is not there because
Mm.
that thing, there's no thing out there.
Okay.
So there's a there's a stoppage which naturally falls down of this tension.
Mm.
And as the tension falls away, there's no longer attention. You're not attain this the energy is not getting focused on one area. It just goes back to being open. Like you
Mm.
said, you feel open
Yes.
and light, spacious and happy.
Mm.
And I want to also connect like often in my work when I'm with clients or when I'm teaching meditation. Often, when I ask people, how are you feeling? When they feel tension or tightness or stress or this, or like anxiety or depression or like so many things. And then
Mm.
I ask them, where do you feel it? Can you localize? Can you point out where is it showing up? It often goes to the chest area, to the
Mm.
shoulder, back pain, or somewhere in the body. Always happens that way. Somewhere physically they will locate it. And then when I asked someone like, yeah, how are you feeling? And he said, I feel happy and I feel very light. I feel like very relaxed. And I was like, where do you feel it? And where is this happiness? He said, I don't feel it in a place. It's just like a general feeling of relaxation everywhere. It's just like feels everywhere.
Mm,
General feeling of relaxation everywhere. So there's no, so happiness is non-local.
mm,
What I said that at that point, and now I'm saying happiness or peace is non-local.
mm.
Like sometimes you might feel excitement in your stomach, sure, but that's not happy. I'm not talking about the natural state of bliss, natural state of happiness,
Mm,
the natural being, the natural presence, the natural peace. This is all one. The natural feeling, state of being love, just being open and accepting love. All of that, this what I say is one. Everything is all. These are only ways of describing that pure happiness, which is not local. It's not like arising from your shoulder or your head.
yes.
Only tension exists in a local small place.
Mm, mm,
So happiness, that's why when you say, oh, I just feel happy and light and open, because that's the natural state of who we, that is, it's not a state, it is who we are.
mhm,
It is not a character, it is the screen. It is not a tension, it is open existence, open awareness.
mm. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. How about others? Yes, Becca.
So, the screen, because I'm still trying to understand a little bit, the screen is more of the oneness
Hmm.
and things that we can feel localized within our body, like stress or tension, anxiety. Those are like characters on the screen.
Yeah, yes, you
So
can say that.
can you
That's a
clarify the screen versus the characters a bit?
hmm. So I can say, let's go to that other movie, Inside Out. Have you seen Inside Out, the animated?
I haven't, but I really want to
Okay,
watch it. I will
sure.
watch it.
Sure, no worries. It's actually more helpful to answer your question because it has these small characters that are emotions. These are animated characters. One is joy, one is anger, one is I think jealousy, and there's another guy who's like fear. Anyways, we can make more characters and like some hundreds of characters, like a sensation or a thought. We make a movie out of this mind or mind body, and if we play that movie on a screen, now every thought and experiencing is every feeling and sensation is arising on that screen. And that screen is actually the awareness. Let's say right now, if I ask, are you aware of the sound? You say yes. Are you aware of, let's say, sensation in the body? Yes. Are you aware of the thoughts that are in the mind? Yes. Are you aware of what you see in the room or on the laptop? Yeah. Are you aware of, let's say, these memories or imagination of the future, whatever? Yes, yes, yes. Every time the answer will be yes. Every single experience. Were you aware when you were 3 years old playing with the toys? Will you be aware when you are 90 years old working with a stick? Every time, you will say yes. Yeah, that is an experience. Whether you are in that experience right now, you're aware. Whether you imagine that experience to be in the future or past, you're aware. So this awareness is ever present. It's never absent. It can never be absent. It is always just here. So just like that screen, who's just there in the background, it's always just there. Whether this character comes or that character, whether anger is here, whether jealousy is here, whether happiness or joy, whatever. And I know I'm saying happiness right now in a very temporary state of happiness. that screen is, let's say, effortless peace. That screen is this natural presence which has no conditional qualities of like that change. And that screen is just always there. And when this character gets a desire that gets met, let's say I want to buy a car, and then once I get the car, the seeking stops for a second. Or I want to get these grades in my exam. The moment I come get that desire met, the seeking stops for a second. So in that moment, what happens is there's no separate character there. There's nobody who's desiring, there's nobody who's seeking. And in that state, in that moment, there's only oneness because you're only that screen. So that's how I can demonstrate how there is so much happening and also nothing happening at the same time. In the movie, a lot is happening, but on this, for the screen, there's absolutely nothing that's happening.
Okay, that makes way more sense. I'm getting it now. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
and so, in this practice, the goal is to just try and be the screen as much as possible and just have that awareness.
Thank you so much for that question.
Awareness.
Say that again.
Just to be simply awareness.
Again, thank you for the question. I would say you cannot practice being that is impossible. You can't practice that.
Okay.
Because I'm saying you are that already. If you make a practice out of it, it will only become, you will take a form of this character and okay, let's practice this. Let's try to get there. We keep running. And I'm saying that's why this is so tricky and simple at the same time. Nothing has nothing has to be done because the doing requires a doer. So instead, I would ask who is seeking, who wants to practice? Who's that?
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for asking. And again, the moment I ask who is wanting, who wants that practice, suddenly the attention, like usually attention is seeking, let's see, let's do this practice, like want that. Who, the moment this question, who wants that? So again, this questioning is a practice, which is called self-inquiry. It is dualistic, but it's very helpful. It has helped me to locate this doer, this seeker. And I'm like, who wants that? And I don't find that who I don't not find I never find that separate I. And then this what remains is just peace. Anyways. So if you want to practice out of it, you can take this question whenever seeking or wanting arises, even if it's a wanting of peace or wanting of a practice, asking this question, who is this? Who wants this? And that there's a pop. the separate eye pops up because it was not even there. Any more questions or comments? Yes.
Can this can this screen be doing something? For example,
Before we go into example, let me ask you: is right now you're looking at a screen?
yes.
So Gloria character is moving, Mahib character is moving.
Mm.
Is the screen moving?
No.
No.
Mm.
Mahib character can drink water.
Mm.
There's doing happening. There's activity happening. There's so much. I can dance also. In any second, did the screen move at all? Did the screen drink water?
No.
No. Mahib can punch himself in the face
Mm.
and get injured. Mahib can
Mm.
start crying and laughing, whatever. Will the screen get sad or happy?
Mm.
No.
No. Oh, it's 8 o'clock already. Real quickly.
Sure.
In Japan, we say we become nothing or be nothing. And there are moments when I'm drawing something, I am not thinking, I'm not even thinking of drawing. It's almost like there's no feeling, it's nothingness. Or if I'm doing calligraphy, if I'm trying to make it a very nice proportioned letter, I'm striving to do it. But when there's a moment when I'm not thinking or feeling anything, it just moves and makes a beautiful calligraphy. So I was thinking maybe this nothingness, maybe the screen, but this human is still moving. So that's why I was asking, can the screen do things? But maybe not. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That is a really wonderful description. And again, it's so hard to describe this in language because language itself is dualistic. Everything I say, let's say I'm talking, screen is silence, and every time I'm talking about silence, I'm making these sounds. So that's why it's really tricky, and it's always going to be a paradox. But one way of framing it, which has helped me, is everything is apparently happening. There's nothing here. Nothing really is happening at the essence. So at the level of the screen, no thing, no movement, no change is happening. And what we are experiencing is apparently happening. Mahip is apparently here. All five of us are apparently, six of us are apparently here and interacting apparently, while there's nothing really happening at the level of the screen, at the level of who we are essentially. There's no change happening. What appears is apparent. Just like in a dream, you sleep all night long without moving. There's no movement. But in the dream, there's a whole stuff happens, like whole world arises, people arise, so everything comes up, so much life happens. But I look at the level of the person who's sleeping, nothing happened. But this dream, it's like dream Character is the localized version of that person who's sleeping, and that who goes out in the world, lives and talks to people. His character is always talking to himself. The character is always just interacting and walking around in his own mind, always interacting with his own mind. The character that came out of the dream is nothing but the mind. The place that came in the dream is nothing but the mind. The other people in the dream are nothing but the mind. The whole experience of time, space, and causation is nothing but one mind. So at the level of the mind, that nothing really is happening. There's nothing changed. And at the level of the dream, so much is happening. So much change. Chaos. But there is peace. And the core, it's peace. Because there's nothingness. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I really love this. Is so nourishing for me. So I'm really grateful for all of you for showing up here. And I will see you next week. And yeah, I want to continue to build this community. Please invite others who might be interested. And I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Mahip.
Thank you so much. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Gloria, for these beautiful questions and discussion. Thank you, Mahip. Thank you, Becca.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.